All right, welcome into the Walkout presented by Joseph Toyota of Cincinnati. Paul Dehner Jr. here in Baltimore. Jay Morrison at the Homestead in Cincinnati on a night where the Bengals, Jay, I don't know, man. They did it. Joe Burrow's back, which meant winning was back. A tough one to explain how it happens, why a million different streaks were snapped, but they ended the night eating turkey. Almost everybody. Joe didn't want to eat the turkey. Says he doesn't know who made that, but the rest of them having a great time. Finally back in the win column, eating the turkey and enjoying the post-game festivities here at M&T Bank Stadium.
Yeah, it was really fun to watch. They were even joking on the broadcast about how 2/3 of the team was surrounding Joe Burrow for the post. There was a lot of them down there. I'm sure Zach was in the locker room going, "Where is everybody? I gotta talk to these guys." But it was fun to watch. It was surprising, not surprising that Joe Burrow played well, but surprising that the defense played the way they did.
Do you have a song for me?
Oh, I do. And I'm going way back. I'm going back before you were born.
Ooh.
I'm going back before I was born, going all the way back to 1959, a song by the Clovers. I think most people have heard this song, Love Potion Number 9.
Ah, beautiful. Roll it.
It's the Walkout with Paul and Jay, with red hot stories from Postgame, interviews, analysis, within the hour, right here at the Growler.
All right, welcome back into the Walkout, presented by Joseph Toyota of Cincinnati. We are going to take you through this game. We're going to start. You're going to hear from Joe Burrow. You are a bit emotional, maybe misty, potentially. I'm not sure. Joe Burrow from after this game. Hear from
Quivery.
Zach Taylor. Quivery. Yeah, a little quivery. How about that? Zach Taylor after the game. And you're going to hear from Miles Murphy, because of course you're going to hear from Miles Murphy after the latest of what's been kind of a series of breakout games for him, and certainly his biggest one for him and the entire defense. In this one, we're going to talk about Joe, his game, remarkable nature of what went down here tonight. We're also going to talk a little bit about this defense. Is something that isn't historical happening there? And our Joseph Toyota drive of the game. We're going to bring you not one, but two drives of the game in this one. We'll have injury milestone news. Jay's going to have a bunch of stats that I don't think they're going to be sad at all. I think they might actually be quite positive. And we'll talk about what is next for this team that sits in an oh-so-familiar spot, Jay. 4-8 with Joe Burrow feeling confidence. And so just stop me if you heard this one before. Hoping to run the table and sneak in at 9-8. Here we go again. Before we go down that road, though, Bengals fans, you already know how the best teams are built. It's not luck. It's not just picking a person because they fit the mold on paper. It's about the right people in the right roles at the right time, players like Joe Burrow. And that's exactly how Joseph Toyota of Cincinnati runs their dealership. They build a roster of pros, people who actually know their positions and are never out of place. The sales team, straight shooters. The finance department are total professionals. The service department, they're absolute technicians. Everyone's working together towards one goal, giving an upfront, honest, and transparent car buying experience. When you're checking out a new Camry, a Versatile RAV4, or a Toyota Tundra ready to haul your game day gear, you'll see how that teamwork pays off. There's no gimmicks, no high-pressure blitz, just a crew that knows how to execute the game plan. And when it's time for service, their techs keep things running smooth, kind of like an offensive line that never misses an assignment or only gives up one sack. So if you're ready for a dealership built like a contender, head over to Joseph Toyota Cincinnati. It's right off Coleraine Avenue. Or check them out online anytime at josephtoyota.com. All right, Jay, Joe Burrow. He's back, and all he does is throw 32 first-half passes, second most in his career coming back off the toe injury. And when all is said and done, he ends up let's read it off here. 24 of 46 for 261, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Really a modest game, a clunky game, specifically in the first half from him. He admitted it, out of rhythm, missing certain stuff, unsure of how he'd be able to get out of the pocket and move. But then in the second half, you sort of saw the rhythm start to show up. He has a couple of touchdown passes. The Bengals moved the ball, and it looked a little bit more like the Joe Burrow that you come to expect when you consider how long he's been out, when you consider this environment he had to play in, you consider the fact that all they've done is basically lose to Lamar over the years. To put in this performance he was by no means the best he's ever played, like in the technical aspect, but boy, the odds he had to overcome to pull this off, one of the top moments of his already illustrious career tonight.
Yeah, it's kind of what you expected, or at least what I expected. I thought we would see some rust, and not just physical rust, but some mental rust. I mean, he's been practicing, but he hasn't been facing defenses that are showing different pictures after the snap and just trying to get adjusted to playing football again. And it felt like, okay, the first half might be a little wonky, and you hoped that the defense could at least keep it close, and then you figured Burrow would find his stride. It's almost exactly what happened, and even it almost looked like it was going to be a death knell. The when they get down, first and goal at the 2,
yep,
and they cannot get any points, and it just felt it's that same end zone where they had the shovel pass on 4th down. That it felt like that was really going to be the difference. And credit to the defense for forcing all those turnovers. Credit to that offensive line. I mean, this was not a night where Burrow could have been running for his life. There was only 1 sack. I thought the offensive line played great, and it just all worked out for them. It was they held on to their butts in the first half, and then in the second half they were able to pull away. And it's a huge win. I mean, just the confidence, what Zach says about just get a win and everything feels different. Kind of what the defense said, just get a turnover and they start coming in bunches. It's all coming to fruition. Long way to go, but it's just amazing what a difference that one guy can make. Because it's not like Joe Flacco was playing bad, but then you put in a quarterback like Joe Burrow that's got all the respect in that locker room, and you just felt it. You just felt that team come together.
Getting them in and out of the right plays, not making mistakes, no interceptions. I mean, something that of late in particular, Flacco had issues with, but, had the protection, didn't make the mistakes, all those things that you want to see. And also, I got to point out, the moment he drops back and, Samaje Perine with a great block on a blitz around the outside, and he throws a absolute dart to Andre Joseph for the touchdown in that third quarter to put them up 2 scores. What a play. And you get a huge reaction from Burrow. I mean, you could sense the cathartic nature of, hell yes, I am back. This is what I came back for. And he's even said after the game that was, a throw he was really happy with. Well, yeah, everybody with eyes in a television set knew that Joe Burrow was happy with that one. And it was kind of they said that's a play they've been trying to get to for a long time, not just in this game, but this season. And to get it again and make that throw in that moment, where everyone was kind of waiting for the shoe to drop still, because it has so many times for this team this year. Wow, that was a massive moment, and you could really feel it.
Yeah, I didn't see the reaction in the moment, and then NBC did a great job of showing the slow-mo of his reaction, and I almost wanted to see the lip reading of "you can't effing zero me," because that's what it felt like. It was just like, yeah, you guys just took your best shot, and look what I just did to you. It was I wrote that down as soon as it happened, that was the moment of the game.
Yeah, it really was. And so the Bengals win, and we're going to get into this defense here in a minute, because let's be honest, they're a big part of the reason why they won. And but Burrow has a chance, and he was, after the game, I guess, with Melissa Stark, we were down in the hallways and in the locker room where everyone's eating turkey and having a big party out there, you could sense that he was kind of feeling a little emotional. And I asked him about that afterwards as well, about just sort of a chance to reflect on this long ass road back to get to this moment, to have this chance. He talked about that. He talked about the throw to Yoshi and sort of, what this night meant to him. Here's Joe Burrow from the post game.
Yeah, it was. You certainly have those moments after the game. Certainly hasn't been easy on me through 6 years, from a lot of different angles. But I've worked really hard to put myself in position to be back out there, and a lot of people around me have done the same. And there's been a lot of discussions and a lot of time in the training room, and just a lot that has gone into this. And I'm proud to be back.
Was there any throw to get you back into it where, when you first tap and you feel it, is there any throw that gets you going, that gets you rolling?
That touchdown to Yoshi, I felt pretty good about. It was put it right where I wanted it. Didn't exactly spin it the way I wanted it, but that's all right. I put it in a good spot, and he was ready for the look. That one felt good.
Is this what came out for, or is this kind of why went through all that work to get that ordeal?
Yeah, there's no better feeling than that. Putting in work for a long time and going out and it paying off. It's there's just no feeling like going out in front of the world with a group of guys that work really hard to go try to win games and going out and putting on a good performance and winning that game. Obviously we got a lot of games left, but we're going to enjoy this one on this little mini bye weekend, and everybody's going to go and have Thanksgiving with their families and smile and eat and feel good about it.
Jay, I got to admit, I was pretty embarrassed after the game because Joe and I were wearing the same coat. Hey, look.
I can see it.
I actually think my wife actually does own a coat that looks very similar to that one. But it was. I thought it was very reflective of Burrow kind of speaking, about all the people that helped him get back to this point. And you can just tell how much it meant to him to be back out there again. And it goes back to the, what are we talking about? This dude shouldn't play stuff. This is what this guy lives for, is for leading a team. What he does to galvanize this team is significant. And I sort of went around the locker room a little bit afterwards and just asked, what ways does Burrow being back out there make it feel different? How does it change things? Jamar said, he felt like there's an urgency. He feels an urgency that's different when Burrow's out there, just by the way that he carries himself, how he does things, how it operates, his intensity, all of that stuff. Orlando Brown said, he's our engine, so we all feed off of that. Even the defensive guys, Joseph Osai after the game was talking about how, he gets this big smile on his face the moment it was asked to him about, what Joe being out there did for the defense, and how it's just having their guy, having their leader. It brings real juice to everybody. And that's something that it felt like, okay, is that overblown? How big of a deal is that going to be? And then you see a team go out there and play with energy that I'm not going to say they haven't played with all season, but it certainly felt and looked different as an entire team tonight. And you wonder how much of that goes directly back to just having Joe Burrow back.
Yeah. And those guys on defense saw it last year. They weren't playing great, and they still went on a 5-game winning streak. And I feel like they see that they are kind of turning the corner a little bit, and they can kind of feel that it could possibly happen again. You get that guy back, anything is possible. And then just the not just having Burrow out there, but then the turnovers and those kind of start feeding, and the defense probably didn't feel like they were being carried by Burrow. They felt like they were a real part of that. And it's just, you have that confidence when he's out there, and it goes a long way. And the emotion part where he he broke a little bit there, but it was more in the TV interview afterward, and it was the same thing. It wasn't him talking about his injuries and all the work he did. It was when he mentioned the other people that helped him get there. That's when he really, he kind of got emotional and his voice wavered. And I just, you can tell how much it means to him, the people around him, and then you obviously can tell the people around him how much Burrow means to them.
We certainly know how much he means to Zach Taylor, and who spoke about sort of the confidence the team feels with him after the game.
I mean, he hasn't played real football in 3 months, and so for the expectation to be that it's going to be perfect, that's just not the reality. And so he just hung in there and found a rhythm, and I think the second half really made some plays and had a ton of confidence. And it's just, just being around him. He hasn't fully practiced, so there's some unknowns for me on what to call and how to call it, and the confidence he gave me just in his responses over the course of the week, leading up to the game, during the game. You feel that old Joe in there, like he's been playing all season. And so that gave me confidence to call things the way that we needed to call it. I thought our offense coaches did a great job problem solving. Like some of those big plays were third downs. That was huge. And Brad and Pitch do an awesome job. I can name all those guys. All those guys stepped up big time today. Really in all three phases, the coaching staff, I thought, had a great plan, did a great job problem solving over the course of the game, and got the players to believe in it, and we did a great job executing.
Are there specific ways that you feel like Joe just being out there, you could see it having an impact on everybody else, or is that just more of a feeling that you have?
Yeah, that's hard to say. It's just, I just keep saying he's you wouldn't trade him for anybody. And so when you got the guy out there that you wouldn't trade for anybody, there's just this different confidence. And I don't say that in any way to slight any other, because we've had a ton of confidence with the quarterbacks who have been playing for us. But Joe Burrow's he's a spectacular player, and the team responds the right way to it.
There's Zach Taylor. You can hear the party that was happening next door a little bit there at the end. That was raging on. And it had been a while since they'd had a win, so they were living it up a little bit after. I mean, you hear Zach Taylor, who, confidence to call it. I mean, to call that many passes, which honestly was a little ridiculous in the first half, the amount that they were throwing rather than running the ball. How much was Joe checking out of it versus not? I mean, who knows? That's something we'll find out more in the aftermath, maybe tomorrow or whatever. But, for the most part, certainly not afraid to go out there and call a very normal Joe Burrow game. You know what's going to be really interesting, Jay?
What's that?
Suddenly, the next home game could be quite monumental.
Yes.
Burrow versus Lamar Part 2 this year. The Ravens look broken, potentially. And we are going to be doing our next live show down at BetMGM and Tom's Wash Bar before that game, the next home game on the 14th. We'll be down there at 10 a.m. It's our Christmas show. We're going to be giving away so much stuff. We're going to be giving away tickets to the next home game against the Cardinals. We're going to be giving away jerseys. We're going to be giving away ice cream from our good friends at Graders. We're going to be doing – last year we gave away hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of giveaways from the pro shop, stuff that you would want. Maybe Jay will sign an Arby's bag for you. Like, there's lots of different things that we can give away. And we're really looking forward to that, but it's going to be before that game. So hopefully, if you're going to that game, stop down, hang out with us. It's going to be a great one. We hope to see you there down at BetMGM. It's at 10 o'clock before the Ravens game at home on the 14th. Jay, I want to talk about this defense. We have rightfully destroyed this defense all year long. They have been the worst defense in the history of the NFL by DVOA through the first 11 games, period. Right? But that said, they do look, over the last 3 weeks, you have gradually seen it start to turn for them. And against, good teams. I mean, good offenses for the most part. I don't know what's going on with Baltimore, but, you talk about the Patriots and what they bring to the table, and you see some plays start to being made, what they were doing with the Ravens tonight. You get the turnovers that you've been missing. You're seeing pressure. Like, Joseph Osai with a game, Miles Murphy with a game. They still have plenty of problems, but they're finding ways to make plays. They're getting confidence out of that. You can feel that confidence. You know, they had halves where they were keep giving opportunities. The game in Pittsburgh, they were giving opportunities, and the offense wasn't taking advantage of it. Now all of a sudden they weren't playing complementary football. Here you go. This is now 3 straight weeks where they gave opportunities, and the offense did take enough of advantage of it tonight. Do you buy that things are starting to change on that side of the ball?
Yeah, I think you have to. It's there were still a few of those plays. The 44-yard run by Derrick Henry, or the screen or the bad angles there. The thing is, think about it. If Jordan Battle doesn't recover and force that fumble right at the goal line, they're down 14-3. This is an entirely different podcast. I don't know that they come back and win that game, even with Joe Burrow. I don't know if the turnovers start multiplying the way they did. I mean, that really changed everything. So you're seeing it. It's, Geno Stone's played better. Jordan Battle's played better, even though he didn't play good on that play. The pass rush is the main thing. I mean, real legitimate pass rush. Joseph Osai was incredible tonight. And Miles Murphy was really good too. He had the credit on the one interception where he just came right up the middle, and I don't know if he hit his arm or if he hit the ball.
He
had got the ball. I mean, that was that he caused that interception. So you're just seeing individual growth from some of the guys, and then you're seeing them come together as a unit. And you're seeing Al get more comfortable. It feels like I haven't looked at the numbers, but it feels like he's blitzing a lot more. And I mean, last week Jalen Davis comes in and a nickel blitz and gets the sack. This time he came in tonight and affected it. He didn't get the sack, but he affected a play. It just seems like they're getting more comfortable, so he's getting more aggressive, and they're just kind of growing into this scheme.
You're exactly right. I want to go look at the blitz percentages in the last 3 weeks versus what they were doing before that. You can see that. It certainly seems like it's happening more often. Second down and long, where they're trying to get them into a third and long. Obviously, third downs, you're still seeing some blitzes, but more willingness to do that is creating more one-on-ones for guys like Osai, the second one. He comes in untouched. He's unblocked. You and I might have been able to get that sack. Nothing against Joe and what he did on that play, but he's getting guys schemed free where they can make plays. But I think in general you're seeing that confidence. Here's Miles Murphy after the game on what might just be happening for this defense.
I mean, I know this has been a frustrating season for you guys defensively, and you felt like you were maybe making some headway in recent weeks. To have a game where it all comes together, 5 takeaways, sacks, all that stuff, what's that feeling right now, knowing that you guys finally kind of had a little bit of a breakthrough?
Honestly, it's kind of what I said last week with the goal line stops. That's the standard now moving forward. That's the standard we want to set moving forward, and that goes into everything, not just goal line. It goes in the first, second down, third down, get up the passer, goal line, backed up, anything. That's the mindset to just get after it. We can't take our past few games, those losses, into this week or next week, so we got to make it a 1-game season. Next week is the most important week of the season, and so on and so forth.
Something changed for you guys? Do you feel like something clicked?
It's confidence, keeping that confidence up. Even with all the losses, you can't let that confidence fade away. You got to stay confident, stay getting after it, honestly.
And credit to Al Golden and the coaching staff, which have not been good enough at all this year, but to have a team that even can have a game like this and still say that they have confidence after all that they've been through and how embarrassing it's been, that's kind of saying something, because honestly, I didn't think a game like this was even possible from this defense this year. When you consider how lost they looked just a month ago.
Yeah. I mean, I said it multiple times. It can't be fixed. There's nothing that's going to fix this defense. The trading deadline was passed. You've got Trey Hendrickson's going to probably come back at some point. You would hope, but there's just no answers on the bench, and I'm really surprised. I just didn't think this was possible, and It just goes to show that they talk about. I know people kind of roll their eyes, and hard work is kind of supposed to be a baseline thing. Everybody does that, but they didn't mail it in, and they didn't give up. They kept believing that they could get better, and they're showing it. They outrushed the Bengals outrushed the Ravens tonight. When was the last time that happened? 128 yards on the ground for the Bengals, 123 for the Ravens. I know Derrick Henry had a couple big chunks, but just the pass rush, the coverage I thought was really good. They're just kind of growing up before your eyes. You don't want to make too much of it because it can all fall apart next week at Buffalo, but you see the stair-step improvement, and it just doesn't feel like you see these kind of light switch moments in the league that and we were talking about this is going to be a tear down. It's going to take 2 seasons to rebuild this defense, and they don't have to be great. We said at the beginning of the year, you get some turnovers, be average. This offense can carry this team.
Yeah. Before tonight, the Bengals defense had forced and recovered 1 fumble. 1 all year. And here they basically have 4, if you count the touchback, tonight, which is just crazy. They had 10 turnovers created all year and 5 tonight. I mean, between the fumble luck, okay, the Flowers OPI, what should have been the likely touchdown where Battle comes back and Lamar literally just gives them one for some reason, right? And maybe it's caused by pressure and Jordan Battle did hustle. There's some luck involved in it, but also whatever it takes to get you playing with some confidence can often be the biggest difference. So they'll take it. They're not going to apologize for that. They've certainly had plenty of luck against them this year, but it is kind of interesting when you think of how it's kind of they've been dying to have 1 or 2 of those types of things happen for them. And it seemed like, all the breaks went their way tonight.
Yeah. And they needed it. And I mean, you just look, it was what Zach said earlier in the year, just someone get a stop. And they did. And because it still felt in the second, maybe after the Yoshi touchdown where they opened up a little bit of a lead, but it still felt tentative. Like the Ravens are going to start playing like the Ravens, and they're going to come back and they're going to do what the Bears did to the Bengals, and they're going to do what the Jets did to the Bengals. And guys answered Zach's call, and guys made stops and made plays, and you see the end result from that.
Yeah. All right. I do want to remind everybody about our guy, our friend, and yours, Eric Stanio of Keller Williams Realty. If you're buying or selling, you know what you need to do. You need to hit up our guy. Join the rest of the Growl Pals that have all used Eric to buy or sell homes. It's been great to see how many people that we've had. We get the pictures of them getting the keys to the new house and knowing that they had talked about the Bengals and urinals being for serial killers with our guy Stanio, that and much more. Make sure you hit them up. If you are buying or selling, he knows everything. Go to his YouTube page at Team Stanio on YouTube. Everything you would ever need to know about Cincinnati, about neighborhoods, about the market, about everything that's going on. And of course, hit him up, info@teamstanio.com, or go to www.teamstanio.com to connect with him. All right, the Joseph Toyota drive of the game, Jay. I have 2 of them. Not 1, but 2 Joseph Toyota drives of the game today. And those were the 2 drives in the third quarter. After everything that had happened, it felt like they had wasted a great first half from the defense with all the red zone woes where they just couldn't get it in, unable to score from the 2. Everything we talked about, you're only up 12-7. It felt like the worst 5-point lead ever. And you're like, oh, well, the Ravens are going to come out in the second half. They're immediately going to take the lead. It's going to be just like so many games, and you're going to bemoan the mistakes and the missed opportunities. And then defense gets a 3 and out, and then the Bengals go 61 yards in 10 plays, and you get the touchdown on a 3rd down to Tanner Hudson, who makes an incredible one-handed catch. And after that, you get 8 plays, 68 yards, and the dime to Yoshi for a touchdown. And all of a sudden, the Bengals are up 2 scores. The Bengals are in full control of this game. And, off they go. What a response, I think, when everybody was kind of thinking maybe the second half would be where the Baltimore rises up and overcomes their mistakes. And instead, it was Joe Burrow doing the things that he does.
Yeah, and I'll actually go 3. I'll add a third drive on there because this is a night where, as great as the defense was, they're kind of overshadowed because it is Joe Burrow coming back and doing what he did. But the Ravens had a chance to score there at the end of the half and then get the ball first in the second half, and the Bengals blew that up at the end of the half. The Ravens come out and start the second half with a 3-and-out. And I thought that was huge. The Bengals defense gets a 3-and-out. Then you get the 10-play drive you were talking about. That drive, Joe Burrow completed 3 passes on that drive for 1, 3, and 6 yards. That was it. He had 2 scrambles. That's when you really felt like he was starting to feel it. He had 2 scrambles for 3 yards. It was just one of those, you look at it and you're like, how the heck was that a 10-play touchdown drive? They got a beneficiary of a 17-yard pass interference penalty, but that was really remarkable to kind of grind out a touchdown on what wasn't a really good drive overall. And then, yeah, the Yoshi one, that's the one that sealed it. We talked about the moment, the emotions and everything, but that whole start to the second half was really where they just kind of put this thing away.
Really was. Let's get into some updates, milestones news. Evan McPherson, his great season continues. 6 field goals tonight, including a 52. He's really continues to play well. Joe Burrow adds Thanksgiving Day MVP to his list of awards. That he was holding the weird-looking trophy thing afterwards. I'm not sure what trophy case that'll go into. That feels like that one ends up in mom and dad's in Athens, I think.
He gave the ball away. The ball they gave him for player of the game, he gave it to a young Bengals fan in the crowd, and she was crying and emotional. It was really a cool scene there. And but yeah, he didn't really know what to do with that trophy. I'm not sure where that's going to end up.
Yeah, Chase Brown, another game over 100 yards from scrimmage. That's 5 in a row, right?
6 in a row, franchise record.
It was 5 coming into this, 6 now, franchise record for Chase Brown. He's having a very similar second half of the season as he had last year. What else do we got for stats and milestones and news?
Well, we've talked about this a lot. The Thursday night AFC North road, I don't know if jinx is the right word, struggle. Road teams had lost 10 straight division games on Thursday night on the road. The Bengals snapped that streak. And not just the 0-10 in the last 10 since 2015. The AFC North road teams on Thursday night were 2-18 since the AFC North was founded. And the one of those 2 was when Cleveland came into Cincinnati and beat the Bengals in the Andy Dalton 2.0 game in 2014. It's something that for whatever reason it's been really hard to do, and the Bengals went in and ended that streak. Now they got another 10-game streak they're going to try to end. They're 0-10 in after their last 10 mini buys. So that's another one going to Buffalo next week. But that one makes no sense at all. The Thursday night thing makes sense. This one is really kind of amazing. Joe Burrow as an underdog of 3 points or more is 13-0-1 against the spread in his last 14 games. 9-5 straight up. He's winning these games. Overall, in his career as an underdog of 3 points or more, 18-2-1 against the spread. And he also, I didn't write this one down, but I tweeted it earlier. He is something crazy like 11-2 when the temperature's 40 degrees or less, which it was tonight. The Joe Burrow thing kind of lives on there. Just some amazing numbers. And I think that's the McPherson, 6 field goals. He's one of 3 guys in franchise history to do it. Shane Graham had 7 in a game at Baltimore in 2007 in November. And then Doug Pelfrey had 6 at Seattle in 1994. So Evan joins that. I added it up when he was 5 for 5. He was up to 88%. The record for Bengals in a single season is 91.7. I'm not sure what the 6th one did, and I don't even know sure if the 91.7 counts because that was Josh Brown came in and went 11 of 12 after Nugent got hurt on an onside kick attempt. I don't know what the minimum number is to qualify for such a record, but just all over the board, all kinds of crazy numbers popping off after this one.
Yeah, all kinds of crazy numbers. 10-1 against Lamar. The Burrow's out for 2 months. The Ravens had won 5 in a row. The Bengals had lost 8 of 9. No Higgins, no Hendrickson. Harbaugh's 22-4. In primetime games at home, best in the NFL. And they had a 5.5-hour flight delay. The Bengals did, getting out of town. They didn't land here till 12:30 last night, throwing off all their routine and everything. And then at the opening coin toss, Joe Burrow was wearing a literal cape out there, and off they went. Everybody else is in their jerseys, and Joe's still wearing his cold weather cape. And it's like, Burrow actually shows up like, I'm wearing the cape, dog, and did it. And hey, your stat about cold weather and Joe Burrow and underdogs could play out in Buffalo, where I expect it to be cold, and for them to be an underdog. That is the next game in Buffalo on December 7th. So we will, of course, have that covered for you and everything you come to expect. Rewatch. Everybody enjoy your holiday weekend. This weekend, Rewatch will be back in Monday at 8. We'll do some rewatch and some observations off of what came out of the tape from tonight's game. But we hope everybody that follows along and listens and watches the program had a happy Thanksgiving and enjoyed it. And hopefully your dinner, you were more optimistic about it than Joe was about not eating that turkey. But Jamar said he liked it. He said it with like, you know what, I liked the turkey. I didn't know, maybe I was just hungry, but I liked it. Bucket list moment, eating turkey out there with everybody else, which was great stuff to watch. And hey, Bengals fans, you guys been through the ringer this year, so you deserve to have a good Thanksgiving night and enjoy some football. All right, with that said, I'm going to try to get out of here, and I look forward to catching everybody back on the homestead. Jay, you have a happy Thanksgiving.
Same to you.
And look forward to seeing everybody on the flip side. Have a good one, everybody.